Alright, so when we left off, Oscar asked us what he should do about Cassidy, and so I guess it makes sense if he sent her a message, right?
I guess. The guards are holding you in protective custody, you said. Because you've been officially declared innocent and all the fault is mine, so they can't call you a prisoner.
Right.
In a sense, you're still an honored guest. That means you can likely command privileges that I cannot. You may be able to make requests or send messages. That's probably the best way to contact Princess Cassidy.
I could send her a poem.
Please no.
I know you think that's a terrible idea.
Not necessarily.
What? You hate my poetry.
I don't think your poetry is very good. That doesn't mean I hate it, and it doesn't mean she will either.
Maybe he can send her a secret message in a poem.
A certain amount of awkwardness can be endearing in the right circumstances.
Yes, but not too much, Oscar.
From what I've seen of Cassidy, I think she'd appreciate being complimented even if the art was lacking.
Oh, that's not fair. I can't decide whether you're picking on me or helping me.
Maybe both. Whatever you do, make sure to request an answer. Flattering her isn't the most important task right now.
It isn't.
I don't know about you, but I haven't seen or heard from Cassidy since events took a bad turn.
You think something might have happened to her?
There's no way to know. Is she all right? Does she know what's been taking place? Does she agree with it? The most important thing for you right now is to establish communication of some sort. The guards may read your messages. You can't say anything suspicious. You can't ask about me. But if you request a reply, then anyone intercepting will know that you will notice if no answer arrives. Therefore, either they openly insult you, or they fabricate the answer, or they deliver your message.
That makes sense. You're very clever. But you know that. I should get back, in case anyone decides to have a look inside my room. I don't know when I'll be able to return.
You really shouldn't be down here. It wouldn't do your cause any favors to be caught.
I don't intend to leave you out of the loop. One way or another, I will send you word. When I have something to say, that is. I don't know when that will be.
It's almost like he's trying to reassure me, something of a reversal from the usual. I understand. I'll be all right.
Good. Take care of yourself, Maddie. I'll talk to you when I can.
I only nod.
Always gonna talk to us from that ditch, eh?
After that, he grips the stones above him and begins to pull himself up. I can't follow. I can't even call after him without the risk of alerting the guards.
Well, I thought that was obvious.
Better then to look away. It's so strange seeing him like this. After all these years, I have become too accustomed to Oscar following my lead. I should be pleased to see him more assertive, more active in planning for his future. Proud even, as it would demonstrate that my guidance had been all for the best. I was pleased before when I first realized how he must have outsmarted me in order to purchase that necklace without my knowledge. Why then do I feel so confused? Why does this cell seem more lonely than it was before? I refuse to believe that I am reacting this way solely because his plans now involve actively wooing Princess Cassidy as a bride. We both agreed that was the best course for him, best for both of us. No, best for all three of us, it would seem. Cassidy is a sweet girl, but wholly at the mercy of her treacherous family. As king, Oscar's kindness and honesty would bring much-needed change to Guelinor. And as a couple, they would surely be able to negate my disgrace, perhaps even offer me an advisory position. Cassidy's sheltered upbringing might leave her lacking in certain aspects of wisdom, and I would be of service to her. Everyone benefits. It is an ideal solution, completely practical. Therefore, the root of my unease must lie somewhere else. Most likely, I am only finding it difficult because Oscar is in some degree of danger while I am trapped and unable to aid him. I'm sure that everyone feels that way when someone they have trained or protected goes out into the wild alone. A teacher for a student, one friend for another, a commander for a recruit. Any of those relationships might trigger the same emotions. Nothing to be ashamed of.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what it is, Madeleine. It's not that you have feelings for him or anything. No, certainly not.
Here in this cell, there is nothing for me to do but sit and wait and try not to worry. I must be calm and patient and allow time to pass. Thus, for the moment, I remain at loose ends, floating between moments without so much as a deck of cards with which to amuse myself. But that is not so terrible. I still have a window.
Are there any other birds outside?
Other birds. My parents believe that children should be seen and not heard. This applied more to myself than to my sister, for she was older and heir, not just a child. In those lessons which we shared, I was meant to wait my turn while she asked the questions. In public, I was meant to listen, not speak. And so I did. I could sit in a chair for hours, never moving, never speaking. Easy enough if there was a scene of interest unfolding in front of me. Easy also if my seat allowed me a glimpse of the outdoors. Sunlight on leaves, grass in the breeze. Somehow the sight of these sets my mind free to wandering. I could be a rabbit leaping across the hills. I could be an insect with a pretty red and black shield on my back, a ladybug. Or perhaps I could be the fairy of dawn, painting each blade of grass with its tiny drop of dew. It has been a long time since I last remembered my daydreams, but they are still out there waiting for me. I stare out the window, lost in my mind, until at last darkness comes and I find sleep. It is the sunlight again that rouses me in the morning. For those first moments, I don't quite remember where I am, and roll up against the stone wall when trying to get out of bed. Then, of course, it all comes back to me. Princess Cassidy, the betrayal, Oscar. Where is he now? What is he doing? I'm sure he made it back to our room safely. He's perfectly capable when he tries to be. But then, no point in thinking about it. There's nothing I can do about it. There's nothing I can do now at all. Nothing but wait. I may as well go back to sleep. How often do I get the chance to lie in with my regular occupation? But as I should have expected, it is not quite so easy to convince my body to return to slumber. Instead, I lie awake, staring up at the stone ceiling. I wonder how many blocks there are over my head.
You know, you can never go to sleep when you mean to.
I know, right?
It always happens.
Alas, counting them, more than once just to be certain, still takes up very little of the day. Inactivity is a luxury that quickly becomes a burden. I can't blame Oscar for longing to take action. Well, if resting leaves me restless, the sensible course is to move and keep moving. I stand and begin to pace a pattern across the stones of my cell. Nothing too energetic, not when I don't have the luxury of being clean afterwards. Still, it wouldn't do to let my body fall completely out of practice. Not that I have often been called upon to use my skills in the heat of combat. A good companion is a noble's last line of defense, one that should remain in reserve. I have more experience in sparring or chasing off boisterous drunks than I do in resisting assassination. I will defend what needs defending, but I could never become a fighter for hire. I could never kill for coin.
Oh, so I guess future mercenaries not in our stars.
Damn it. That man who tried to murder Cassidy, what was his motivation? He called her an imposter. According to Dolores, there have been rumors about Cassidy being an imposter for many years, but everyone who's actually seen her knows them to be false. The impression she gave was that it was the commoners, kept at a great distance from the sheltered princess, who nurtured such beliefs, and that anyone of noble birth repeating those whispers would be seen as ignorant and ill-bred. If even the palace guards have doubts about her identity...
Yeah, it's probably not good.
No, that was not a doubt. Prince Callum was right in that much. That man was a fanatic who intended to die for his cause. Whatever that cause may have been, if only we'd been able to question him. I just want to mention that I am enjoying this music in the background.
True. Also, isn't Prince Callum also included the ones that thought she was an imposter, at least at first?
Yeah.
So obviously a lot of people feel that way, even people high up.
It's not my concern, except that it is if Oscar intends to involve himself in Gwelenor's affairs. If Princess Cassidy is in danger and Oscar is close to her, then he is in danger as well. I should have reminded him of that, but there's nothing I can do. I can't reach him. I can only wait and hope that he comes back. After a while, someone brings me food. Bread, a bit of fish, and cold stew. That sounds disgusting. Compared absolutely, it is a better meal than we managed yesterday morning. Still, I would rather be there at the riverside than here, if I had the choice. But I don't. I can't choose anything. I never could. I've lived the life I was meant to, and what has it gotten me? Is this what my life was for? Ending up in a dungeon somewhere forgotten and alone for something I didn't even do?
Oh.
I slam my hand down on the bed in frustration.
She's starting to lose it.
Then I wince and cradle my fingers. These mattresses are too thin for pounding.
Oh no! Cuckoo.
Oscar!
Actually, this time it really is a bird.
I wish. I rush to the window. Hi.
Pleased to see me?
Pleased to see you in one piece. Did you get a message to Cassidy?
Yes, but it turns out it wasn't totally needed. Like you said, I'm still an honored guest. That means I still have to attend the anniversary functions.
Because otherwise it might look like an insult to a Cendawir. That's good. That shows they're still considering your reputation. So, you spoke to her there?
We couldn't talk much, of course. Everybody was there. There's no way the guards would let her go off with me now.
They might if she pushed hard enough, but they'd probably come along as well. So what did she have to say? Whose side is she on?
I told you, she's a nice girl. She had no idea about what was going on, I mean. She thought it was Dolores in the dungeon, not you.
It's a normal thing to think. It would have made more sense.
Well, yeah. So when she found out what her parents did to you, she wanted to stop the music and march right down here. I told her she should wait until I talked to you first. Is that all right? I want you free, but I thought you wouldn't want us to rush and make a mess.
You were right. Much as I'd like to be out of this cell. My confession and condemnation were public, and the charges attested by the king himself. Demanding my release would be an open challenge to royal authority. It needs something more subtle.
Oh, Cassidy's first idea was even worse. She wanted to help you stage a jailbreak.
So I could be a criminal and a fugitive?
Well, she doesn't have your experience. Surely wants to do what's right.
At least we know we can trust her if nothing else, but I'm concerned about you. Both of you. Cassidy is too innocent for this sort of situation.
And I?
Well,
I guess he's getting better.
He is definitely getting better.
He seemed to have planned ahead this time, which is pretty good.
If you'd asked me last week, I would have said yes.
And now?
I'll still say yes, but I'll hesitate longer. He rolls his eyes at me. Oscar, there's an assassin out there. Maybe more than one. Have you thought about that? Someone wanted Cassidy dead. If there's a plot, it may not be over. She could still be in danger. And as long as you're beside her, so are you.
Oh.
Do you or she have any idea what the king and his wisdom are doing about the assassin problem?
Absolutely nothing. No, I don't know. I should have thought of that. I should have thought of it
earlier and I didn't. Don't feel bad. We've both had our share of unexpected events lately. Oscar just shakes his head, ignoring my reassuring smile.
I'm supposed to be trying to plan for my future with Cassidy.
And my smile goes lopsided.
Oh.
Yes, well, now you know. Be on your guard. I can't be out there, so you're my only eyes and ears.
I need to track the assassin, and I also need to know what the royals are doing, so I don't run into them.
Exactly.
Guess I'd better go then. Oh, that was sudden.
He looks up at the wall, gives a faint sigh, and begins to climb. He didn't even say farewell.
What a douche. Oscar, what are you becoming?
Of course not. His mind is focused on the task at hand, protecting Princess Cassidy.
Too busy chasing the tail.
I can only hope he's up to it. Our princess in the tower needs all the help she can get. As for the woman in the dungeon, what she needs is patience. I don't need a pair of impetuous young heroes rushing to my rescue. I'm not in any danger. They do make a pair, don't they? Oscar and Cassidy. Paragons of goodness and virtue. They need me. Or is it the truth that I need? I'm not used to being alone. Really alone. I've always belonged to someone. I was my mother's daughter and my sister's shadow. As pathetic as it was, I had a place and a purpose. And then all these years, I have been Oscar's companion. He has been the center of my world. Everything that I do is all about him. I don't want to find another position. I want Oscar and I to be always together. I want things to go on like they were, even though I know that they can't. I'm just as much of a child as he is, aren't I?
I guess so. You just don't know what you want anymore.
I need to plan for my future with eyes wide open and not cling to the familiar. Still, it would be a waste to throw away my connection with Oscar solely because it is familiar. He and Cassidy would need someone they could count on. They know they can trust me. It could be the best position I'll ever get. And if that means spending the rest of my life watching him and her together, then so be it.
Oof, that's kind of rough though.
With that thought, I restore my sense of calm.
Well, that's good.
I sit on my bed and I wait, and time passes.
Okay, wow, it's quite the day we had, or I guess a few days. I'm not sure how much time passed exactly. But we're going to take a break here, because that's been a lot of reading for you.
Yes, it has.
And we'll resume in the next episode and see exactly what kind of plans Oscar and Cassidy have come up with. Until then, take care, everyone.
Bye.